Welcome to this reading for the new moon in Gemini. So we are right now at the end of one moon cycle, which means that one is coming to an ending and another one is just about to start. And yeah, before we dive into the reading, I would love to invite you to come back to your intentions that you set for yourself at the beginning of this moon cycle. So maybe you have been watching one of the tarot videos, or maybe you did a little ritual for yourself, or you just journaled and wrote down some intentions. And if you feel like it, you can just take that moment to go back to your intentions and check in with them and see how everything unfolded for you during this moon cycle. So it's always good to, like at the end of the moon cycle, to check in with our intentions, to check in with the things that we wanted to have, or that we, that we intended to bring into our life, maybe like that we can say. Or maybe it's also something some inner work that we wanted to do, or yeah, whatever it was that you set your heart onto, or also your mind. Just have a look at them and see how everything unfolded for you. And then maybe there are some intentions that you would like to take with you into the new moon cycle because you haven't yet finished, or maybe it's something that you noticed was also something that would take some more time. Maybe it's also for a year until the next new moon in Taurus, or maybe it's even things that you are say now, okay, in this moon cycle I did that and I'm pretty happy with that and I can just leave that behind. However, the new moon in Gemini, I would love to talk a little bit about that. So Gemini is the sign that's all about communication, about knowledge and learning, but also about being curious and being flexible, being enthusiastic, being sociable, being light. So Gemini is an air sign. And I guess if you look around in your family, friend circle, you will definitely know who is a Gemini, because they are very light and they love to talk a lot. Yeah, they do. And so this new moon and also this new moon cycle brings up a lot of things around communication. And communication, that's not only how we talk with each other, it's also how we express ourselves into the world. So it's our speech, but it's also how we express our creativity. This can be taking photos, drawing, dancing, writing, making music, whatever it is, or whichever method you choose to express yourself. And it's also I was talking about a lot of creative activities, but it's also how we express the things we know. So if we have a certain knowledge, if we know to do things, how is it that we bring them into the world? So I think this is very interesting. It's a lot of throat chakra energy here. And Gemini, they always have these two sides to them. So you can always ask yourself, where can I go deeper into my knowledge, into my creativity, into whatever it is that comes to your mind and also to your heart. I mean, look into your heart. But also, where can you go, or where can I go broader? So sometimes we need to go deeper, or we want to go deeper, we must go deeper, because we have this inner longing to do so. And sometimes we also want to go broader and explore more things and not be very specific, but look here and look there and be playful with it. So this is also all right. And I mean, being human is not always about this, or being like this or being like that. There's so many things in between. And yeah, I will just, it's also the moon that invites you to be very curious about all these things that you can bring into the world and that you can be. So it's also listening from the heart. So when it comes to communication, it's also, so not only with others, but also with ourselves. So when are you listening to your heart, and when are you speaking from your heart? And by speaking, I also mean, when are you acting coming from love, coming from your heart? Because Gemini, it's also very airy and can be very in the head. And sometimes when it gets too much of this airy energy, then we can miss being grounded. And I think coming back to the heart and tuning in with the heart space can help us a lot to be more grounded, and also to follow our intuition more. Because sometimes when it comes to knowledge and into learning, we think that we need to do more or learn more, get this certificate or that certificate, and we forget that we already know so many things, and that we are so good at so many things. So I think it's a very good time also to tune into the heart, and also to check how are you talking with yourself, like what's your what are the words that you are using with yourself, and also what are the words that you're using with others. So how do you communicate with others? It came to me a lot, is this idea of nonviolent communication. So if you're interested in that, you can just look into it. There's on Spotify an audiobook available. I think his name is Rosenberg, but I'm not so sure right now. But if you just Google nonviolent communication, you will find out about it. And I think if everyone would just listen to that book sometime, our communication could be so much better, and coming so much more from the heart, because in the end all that we want is love in our lives. So that's it for these energies. I don't want to dive too deep into it. I will leave it just like that. Maybe if you feel like going deeper, you can just look it up some more. There's so much stuff about the new moon and all these energy on Instagram, on YouTube. You can Google it. So yeah, there's a lot of information there. And if you feel like it, that might also be the new moon in Gemini, because it is all about knowledge and learning. So before we start, I invite you to close your eyes for a moment and feel into your heart space, and then also feel into your mind, to your brain, and see whether these two areas are balanced within you. Maybe you can take a deep breath in and then feel or see how big or how small one area is. Or maybe you have another sensation to learn about this. And I think it's always good to find the balance between the mind and the heart, because they both know so much, and bringing the head and the heart together is, I think, the best place to manifest whatever you want to bring into your life. So tune into your heart, tune also into your mind, be very gentle with yourself, be light and joyful, and allow yourself to be curious and to look around you with curious eyes, and as always, through the eyes of love. So if you feel like it, we are going to dive now into the pile picking. I will show you the crystals that I chose for this reading, and you can then choose either by crystal, or you can also look at the cards. So I hope you enjoy it, and I wish you a very happy new moon in Gemini. Okay, so welcome to picking the piles. We have 4 piles today. Let's begin with the first one. That's this beautiful adventuring stone. It's not working. Ah, right now, look at it. It's super beautiful. It's a little bit on this one side, it's shaped like an egg. And it's very beautiful. It's a very smooth stone. I really like it. And it comes together with the storm card. Pile number 2, we have this beautiful rose quartz and the pilgrim card. Pile number 3, this very beautiful moonstone. It has it's super smooth and it has a very beautiful energy to it. It's very light and very soft. It's a super beautiful stone. And it comes with the beautiful nectar card. And for pile number 4, we have a clear quartz. It's also a very beautiful stone. And now that I'm seeing it here, I don't know if you can see that, but I guess you cannot. But there's like little feathers inside. So the stone is has a structure inside that one looks like a feather, like one of these fluffy feathers that you can find on the floor. And the other one even looks like a butterfly or a leaf, something like that. So yeah, it's also a very beautiful stone. And it comes with the village card. So please choose your pile. The cards are already up here, at least the oracle cards. And then we're going to dive right into the reading. Welcome, pile number 1. If you have either picked the beautiful adventuring stone or the storm card, this is your reading. And I already put the cards out, and what I see here are 2 energies that are quite the opposite. I guess this already is coming with the storm card. I will show you the card. I'm always very drawn to that line in between that separates the 2 parts of the card. And I can see also this in your reading, that there's one energy and then that there is also another. And the storm is, the energy of the storm card is a little bit like the Tower card in tarot. So there's definitely some disruptive energy going on, some uprooting energy, which can be destructive and which can be scary. I don't know how you feel when there is a storm coming and you're outside or even inside, and it's like the wind and the air is going into the trees and like really turning them to the left, to the right, and in every direction. So for me, a storm is something can be very like challenging or even scary, because it's something where we can see the force of nature. And I believe in our culture, we think that maybe we have tamed nature, but no, we don't. And sometimes when we are confronted with the energy of nature, it can be very intimidating. So because we realize how small we are, or maybe also how weak. But then on the other side, we are also super strong, because it's like the tree that is moved by the wind in the storm, that is like going to one side and then to another, and it's not breaking. Maybe it loses some branches, and okay, there are also some trees that might break, but then it's always necessary that things are destroyed in order for new things to grow. So maybe feel into this, whether for you the storm brought the breaking of some branches, maybe some leaves have fallen down, maybe it's also the whole crown fell off, and that's also all right. In the reading, like with the foxglove, the card represents maybe that you somehow lost the connection to yourself, or maybe No, it's not necessarily the connection to yourself, but maybe it's more like you went through a lot of changes, like in the storm. Like imagine you have your beautiful tree and the crown just fell off, and now you are sitting like thinking, okay, but who am I? What story am I telling myself? And do I even recognize myself? And what does that mean to me? I mean, sometimes we change so much that if we meet someone we haven't met in such a long time, they say like, oh my God, you have changed. And sometimes it's like seen as something bad, but I read somewhere, and this is something that I feel definitely for myself, if someone said that to me and like, oh my God, you're so changed, I would say like, oh, thank you, I've been working so hard on myself, I'm glad that you noticed it. And even if that person doesn't like the change, you can always check in with yourself. Do I like the change, or what's going on here? So the foxglove just asks you to check in with yourself. Check in, how are you feeling about the changes that are going on, about these disruptive energies. I mean, there has been a lot of energies going on these past couple of weeks. It's also that the devil is coming up. It's like the shadow card, so maybe you have been since the last full moon working with your shadows, and you have started to integrate your shadow self, and maybe there have been some desires coming up, or maybe some situations where you just decided not to go with what people are putting onto your plate because you don't want this to happen. So this could be a situation that you set boundaries with someone and they didn't like that, and they just said like, oh, but before you would have done that for me, and then you be just like, yeah, but I'm not that person anymore. So maybe check in with that if that's something that resonates within you. There's also this very innocent energy in your reading, so I will come to that now. To the other side that I see, so there's this disruptive energy that brings a lot of change, but there's also some calmness within your reading. So we have the lamp that just sits under the storm card, and this has for me a very calm energy. So the colors with the green and the blue, and also like going inside, and the lamp is such a peaceful being, and it's so cute. I mean, look at it, how cute it is. So it's this innocent, childlike energy, and this goes also together with the foxglove. So maybe if you feel like, oh my God, where am I going and what's happening to me, maybe you can just tune into your childlike being. That's also what Gemini invites us to be curious, to be joyful, and this could be something that that spirit asks you to look into. So maybe, who have you been when you were still a child, or who do you always wanted to be, and is that something that's still interesting for you, or is it something that you left behind for a good reason? Then we have the mistletoe card. The mistletoe is, you all know it, that if you are standing under the mistletoe and you kiss someone, then something is supposed to happen. Maybe you're going to marry them, something like that. I don't remember what it is actually, I just remember the kissing, which I actually find very beautiful, because it's not only your romantic partner that you can kiss under the mistletoe tree, but also your family, your friends, loved ones that you are holding close to your heart. So I think that's something very beautiful to do. I mean, kissing and hugging, that's always something that brings us peace, that brings us comfort, and I think this is very important, especially in troubled times. So especially if you had a rough time, you can go always to someone and ask for help, to ask for support, and not just be on your own and deal with all these things on your own, because there's always someone there to that might help you, that might support you. And if it's just by hugging you and giving you some warm comfort. There's also like two swords in this mistletoe card, and legend says that when soldiers went out to a battle and they came by a mistletoe on their way to battle, they had to stop and carry on the next day. And sometimes, like stopping for one day and then carrying on the next day, gives us some peace and gives us the opportunity to calm down our mind. Because I mean, probably you know it, if you have ever sat in meditation and you were like, okay, now I'm going to meditate, I am all calm, I am all peaceful, and then your mind just tells you, oh, what's going on with this or what's going on with that, and you feel like the urge to look into this and just to go for that. And I don't know, it's just sometimes our mind can be such a funny place to be. And so here it's also the invitation to give yourself some time, be a little bit more patient with yourself maybe, and don't always believe what your mind is telling you. This is very important, I guess. Then the other card says, thank you, universe, for helping me see beyond the limits of fear. Thank you for expanding my perception so that I can see what is the highest good, what is of the highest good. So I guess this goes very well together with the foxglove, with the storm. What I was talking about earlier is about when we are so much in our mind and we can get so unsure about things, especially when other people are involved and other people tell us how we should be, what we should do, like, you know, all the should. And this is also with what I was saying about the mistletoe. It's like asking for help, and sometimes it can also be the universe. You can just ask for guidance, you can just ask for support, and know that you will always be supported. There's always, the universe always has your back and helps you to see things in a different way. So if you're really struggling with your self-image, you can just ask and be like, okay, please help me to see this from another perspective. Or what also came to my mind is just ask someone that you really trust and that you love about their opinion and maybe how they see you, because we always are so in our heads and we always have the perception of ourselves from the inside out, and others see us from the outside, and so there's always a gap between them. And sometimes it's nice to have someone, tell you what they see, how they see you. And I think most of the times others, especially people that love us, see us in such a more loving way than we see ourselves. So I think it's very good to check in with others from time to time and ask them how they see us. Then we have the knowledge card, which is very, very Gemini. So I don't know, what just came to me was maybe if you struggle with your self-image, check in whether more knowledge would help you to feel more secure. I think this is not always the case, because sometimes we have the tendency to think, okay, if I'm going to just do this course or this certificate, then I'm going to be better, or I'm just better and I can just be better. But most of the time we don't necessarily need that. I mean, knowledge is something so beautiful. I love reading and I love to learn more about things. But I think here it's also I just don't know what I want to say. I think it's just the same, like check in with yourself, whether is this important, is it not? Do you really need that, or is it just your mind telling you that you should do something more and learn something more? So definitely here I can see the invitation to check in with yourself, whether you should go with some things that you maybe have on your mind or on your heart, if you are invited to go deeper or broader. So maybe check this out. And then for the tarot cards, I was asking for something that wants to grow or something that wants to emerge. And there is the beautiful Queen of Wands that showed up. I really like that card a lot because she has such a calm yet warm energy to herself as she sits on her throne. She has a cat, so that's definitely very witchy energy with the black cat that sits in front of her. And then she also has this beautiful sunflower, and there's also the sunflowers behind her. And she has her wand, so the wands represent fire. And I don't see in that card a very like fiery energy. It's more like this warm energy. And it's interesting because she is sitting next to the lamp, so maybe you can see into how you can mother your inner child, how you can give your inner child some warmth, and with that warmth coming also some kind of comfort. Yeah. And then the last card was about what wants to be integrated or what wants to be released. So this can either be, and I think it's very interesting that there's this either all the time. I think this is also the Gemini energy, which always has these two sides to them. And here the same. So it can be something that you are invited to let go or something that you are invited to integrate. And I think it's always with our shadows. I think we can start by looking at them and accepting them and then see how we can integrate them. And so I guess here you are invited to see, depending on how much you already work with your shadow self, is to either let go of that for the moment and to become this bright energy that where you approach yourself with a lot of patience, or maybe it's some kind of, as I was speaking of boundaries, for example, it's like, or desires that you were just bringing into your reality. If this is something that you need to go deeper within. So same here. Just check in with your heart, check in with your mind, and then also check in with your body and just feel into your body what feels good for you right now. Because this reading, these cards, they are some kind of help for you to set your intentions for the new moon cycle. And maybe your intention is going to be to go deeper in your shadow work and go deeper into boundary setting or whatever it was that you have been working on, and see how you can integrate this more into your life, into your reality. Then if this is your choice, yes, please do so. And then maybe you can just bring in that beautiful lamp energy, this peaceful energy. So I guess the devil can be very like demanding and be very serious and really like grasping onto something. And the lamp is just like loosen up again and open up, and be more chill, be more playful. Yeah, I think there was something else that I wanted to say, but it just flew away. Must be my Gemini brain, my Gemini mind that just went somewhere else. I think it was still about the devil card. So I was telling like working more with your shadows, or just leave them be. Just concentrate on this motherly, warming, comforting energy. So if you tuned into yourself and you don't know, just tune into the cards maybe one more time and see which card you are more drawn to. If you feel like, oh yeah, that's the devil, I will definitely go on with the shadow work. Or maybe you're also more drawn to the Queen of Wands, then maybe this is your choice. Yeah. So I guess, dear pile number 1, this is the end of your reading. I enjoyed it a lot. And I see actually for you a more peaceful time coming. And I think you have been really strong and you have been really through something, and I'm really proud of you. I'm really proud of you for going through all these changes and for looking at yourself in such a honest way. And yeah, I wish you all the best, and I wish you a very happy new moon in Gemini, and I wish you a very, very pleasant moon cycle. So see you in the next reading, probably for the full moon or any other reading. So I'm sending you much of love and much of light. Bye bye. Welcome, pile number 2. If you have chosen the rose quartz or the pilgrim card, then this is your reading. And I have to say that I feel pretty excited about your reading. I haven't gotten all the messages yet, but I think it already came with the pilgrim card. It gives me somewhat some goosebumps. I will show you the card. It's a very interesting card, I guess. So there's beautiful colors around here. There's a mountaintop. There's this eye. There is some hands in prayer pose, and the person is wearing a mala around their neck, so a necklace that can be used for prayer, for if you say a mantra. So if you have a mantra and you repeat it, you can just flip by the beats of the mala, and you can repeat them 108 times. So this is a kind of meditation. That just came. Maybe this is important for some of you. Yeah, so the Pilgrim card is a very adventurous card. So the Pilgrim is an energy that is very uncommon, I would say, because it's an energy that is seeking change all the time. Because if we are walking around and we are moving from place to place, there is no chance that we are going to settle down in one place, and that we will become how can I say that? That we become, well, yeah, that we become settled. It's so funny that the word isn't coming. So there is no, if we are moving around a lot, so we don't settle in, and then there's not a chance that we are going to accumulate a lot of material stuff. It's a card that has this light energy to it. So the pilgrim walks around. They don't have so many things with them. They just have what they need. Maybe it's their mala necklace. Maybe it's I don't know, whatever it is that they are carrying with them. And the interesting thing, it's the description of the card. It also says that with the motion, with the moving around, comes freedom, expansion, and growth. And it says also responsibilities, social conventions, and logistics lull us to sleep. And soon the pilgrim becomes veiled in the slumber of the day-to-day. So I think this is very interesting when we are leading a life that is very day-to-day, when we have a job where we go like 5 times a week, then we go to this activity on Monday, and we meet these friends on Tuesday, and we are having this on Wednesday. Then life can become very I don't know. I'm not going to use an adjective, because this might feel different for each one of us. So what I might feel like, oh, this is not what I want, someone else might say, oh, this sounds perfect for me, because this sounds like being very calm and being very centered, being very grounded. So again, we have this Gemini energy that always so we have one energy, and it's not always like positive or negative, even though I don't really like using these things like positive or negative, because we can learn always something, and there's always something good even to like a negative situation. So, but we have both of that. So the pilgrim can be seen as someone who is like not settling in because they don't know, so very Gemini because they have so many ideas and they like to explore and everything like that. But they can also be seen as very unstable and not reliable. Yeah, so maybe check in if this card is an invitation for you to move around a little bit more, maybe change the day to day and become a little bit more adventurous. I think this is also the Gemini, what the Gemini energy is about. Being curious, being flexible, and being enthusiastic about things. And this is also something that we can see in the Dolphin card. I love that Dolphin card. It's a very playful energy. It's a very very colorful, very light. So there's definitely water going on, and the water is always, think about the river that carves its way through nature, and that twists and turns, and that just flows. So maybe see where you can go with the flow maybe more often than just plan things out and then stick to them. And I think there's two things that speak to that, and that's just this one card that says, I find a deeper meaning and personal growth amid the discomfort. So maybe for you, embodying more of this pilgrim energy feels like very uncomfortable. And I mean, I don't say that you have just to pack up your backpack and go on a hike, on a long hike, on a pilgrimage. You can do so, but this is not necessarily about, it doesn't have to be always super extreme. But maybe you can find some sort of loosening up a little bit and becoming more playful, a little bit more flexible, and also a little bit more willing to feel discomfort. Because sometimes when we are doing new things and getting into new situations, it can feel very uncomfortable. And I think growth always is uncomfortable, because if we would always stay in our comfort zone, we don't grow, and then life gets, as it was described in here, like we might fall asleep and don't feel alive anymore. So I think this is a big invitation for you to see where you can push your comfort zone a little bit more out and feel a little bit more discomfort, because the only thing that is holding you back from doing so is yourself. You can see that in the Eight of Swords card here. That was a card that I was where I was asking for something that might be integrated or released, and I think in that case it's definitely release. So it's like this person, she's standing in between the swords, and she has these ropes around her she can't see, and she might, or they might have the feeling of not being able to move and not knowing where they are, but they just need to like wiggle the arms and stretch a little bit, and then they will notice that these ropes, that these bandages just will easily fall off, and then they can use their hands, their arms to remove the blindfold, and then they will see that they are just basically standing wrapped up by their own thoughts, because swords represent thought, and it's like sometimes the mind can get us in such a funk, and then we just shake ourselves. Imagine her moving like the dolphins, like the bandages, they will just fall off, and then she will be free to explore her comfort zones, her boundaries, and to see what else is going to happen. And so we also have the Basil and the Daisy card. The Basil invites you to get in touch with others and maybe help others a little bit more, or go out and oh, wait. Yes, so it's like the idea is if you give something out to someone else, it might come back to yourself. So this does not mean that we only give to others because we expect them to give us something back. It's more like this idea of the energy that we are sending out will come back to us. So if you do a random act of kindness to some stranger and you feel into your heart space and you feel like, oh, this was a beautiful encounter, you've helped someone, you just lightened up their day in some way, maybe you brought them some dolphin energy, and you will see that you are moving lighter through your life. And then also this moving lighter can come like, okay, discomfort that you felt the minute before will already feel less uncomfortable. And this is also the card here. I ask for something that wants to grow or emerge, and I can see that again, like this idea of giving to someone. This can also be like give your inner child something that they wanted. This is also coming together with the dolphin energy. So it's like maybe you've been neglecting your inner child a little bit and they just need some play and just being a little bit joyful. Maybe they need movement. Maybe your inner child is asking you to be the pilgrim and be more bold in your life and maybe seek out adventures that you always wanted to do as a kid. So maybe as a kid you like to take your bike or your inline skates and just explore the place where you were living and just going into the woods and playing and whatever it was that you liked. Just maybe come back to that. Maybe remember what you liked as a child and do some more of that. Because with the Daisy card, I can definitely see, it's like, yeah, I think it's really some part that you have been neglecting of yourself, that you did not allow yourself to be or to feel. And maybe because of that, you somehow felt encaged. Maybe you felt that there are no doors and that you are like imprisoned. But be sure that you can always break free from that. And that it is the discomfort that gives us opportunities to change and to grow. And even though it might be something that you find because you are an adult, you think like, oh, but I like to do that when I was younger, but now I'm an adult and adults are not supposed to do this, and what might people think? This is maybe just try it for once, because this is definitely something that will push you out of your comfort zone if you have thoughts like that. And if you have feelings like that, and maybe just try it out and see how much joy it might bring you and how much freedom you will feel after going for it and being brave, and see just what deeper meaning you can find amid these kind of activities. There's also one thing that I haven't been talking about yet. It's the gratitude card. And I think, maybe you have been also very strict with yourself and not very friendly, actually. And maybe you feel like now, maybe imagine that you go and do something that pushes you out of your comfort zone, and then you feel so good and you just realize that you have already grown. in one way or another. And then you look back and then you just tell yourself, oh my God, why didn't I do that earlier? Why was I so scared? What's the reason? And then you start to be very critical about yourself. And I think this is the gratitude card inviting you to do, is to be gentle with yourself, but also be grateful for everything that happens. Because this too, being scared, being not daring, or remaining in your comfort zone might have taught you something. I need just to drink something. Sorry. So, it's like in the beginning when I said like these two sides of the same energy, like maybe it's the light energy and the shadow energy, can be in every situation of our life. So, but if we approach all this with gratitude, then there is so much that we can learn, and then there's so much softening towards ourselves in this, which is a beautiful thing to do. I mean, being gentle with ourselves is such a beautiful gift that we can give ourselves. And yeah, maybe it is like, where haven't you been listening to your heart? Where have you been too much in your mind? Where have you been going along social standards too much? And where can you loosen up a little bit to learn and grow and thrive after that or with that? And maybe you also feel like trying meditation. I don't know, maybe you have done that already, or maybe you feel drawn to it. Just came back to my mind because I was talking so much about the mala beads in the beginning. So maybe you feel drawn to a mantra, or maybe you feel it can be in Sanskrit, but it can also be something in your own language, something that you would love to bring into your life. Let me just have a look. Maybe there is something. No, not so much. But yeah, there's something else. I was just looking into the dolphin card once more, because it's also a very beautiful, it's an intelligent and a healing and a light energy. So as you meditate, you can turn inwards and you can connect with your inner healer, with your inner light, which will shine beauty or bring beauty into your life. Because I see also this dolphin card is very, and also the pilgrim card, I think they are just something like with this light, it's like Spirit is inviting you to be a little bit lighter, be lighter with yourself, in your thoughts, in your feelings, but also like open up and shine your beautiful soul's light into the world. Yeah, I guess that's it. I hope that this was helpful. And I'm very curious how you will be able to shine more light into your own life and also into the life of others, because this is also something, if we shine light out into the world, the light is going to come back to us, and reconnect to your inner child, and allow yourself to just be free and move free, dance around the room, roller skate, whatever. So I wish you a very happy new moon and a very happy moon cycle. I hope that this reading helped you set your intentions for the upcoming moon cycle, and I wish you all the best, and sending you lots of love and lots of light, and see you soon. Bye-bye. Welcome, pile number 3. If you have picked the beautiful moonstone, that was a surprise, right? You were thinking I was taking the card. No, I'm having the stone in my hand. So, if either you have picked the stone or beautiful nectar card, then this is your reading. Welcome. Show you the card, the nectar. It's a very beautiful card. I really like that one. It's very interesting because it also has been in one of my last readings. I think it was for the full moon, and I can feel like a similar energy. So maybe you also picked the nectar card in your last reading. Then this is very interesting if you have picked it again to see how you have evolved throughout the second half of the moon cycle. Or if you haven't, then maybe you're interested in going back to that video and check out what it was about. So I'm getting here also to the side of the coins energies that has also been present in the other readings. I think this is the Gemini. It's always like having opposites to it. So I think I see these cards here are working very well together. So you have hope and peace, and you have the nectar. So the nectar represents the sweetness of life, and I think also with these colors that are very warm, for me at least. I mean, I don't know what you associate with these colors, but it's really they are warm. There's like radiating from the inside out, like the sun. That's also like an eye, at least on this side of the card. And then this is very interesting because the nectar card is such a beautiful card, and it's like the sweetness of life. But there's also like two sides of the card. We have here these pearls that are forming something like a border or something. So, and then there's these black dots are coloring or darkening the beautiful of the color here, and we don't see so much of these rays of sunlight. So, that being said, I want to come back to these two cards that are hope and peace. So, maybe you are at the moment in a situation where you do not feel a lot of this sweetness of life, and you have chosen maybe this card because you want to invite the sweetness of life into your life. Very well done. It's very good to do so and to bring our wishes into the universe. You can just say a prayer and just say like, please bring me the sweetness of life into my reality. Please help me see where I already am experiencing sweetness in my life and where I maybe have been focused too much on the other side. And it's also, I guess, an invitation to tune into your intuition. So the moonstone is a stone that helps with the intuition. And the stone especially feels so smooth in my hands. I really love looking at it, and I really love like touching it because it has such a calming feeling to it. And I think if you can tune into that kind of energy, into this energy of the moon, of being calm and being gentle and soft, you will see that there is hope and that there is peace. And I think this is also this card representing it. It says the presence of love will always cast out fear. And we have this dark night somehow. It looks like maybe a forest or something. There are stars, but they don't seem to be very bright in that setting, at least for me. And then we have the moon that is in a, it's like a soft pink with some yellow, so it's the same energy that's going on in that card. And it says like, where we have love and where love is present, there is no room for fear. So if you can imagine that this moon has just risen up the horizon and she's going to shine brighter and brighter, and the night will become so much more, so much lighter. And what is very interesting is just in that moment where I'm talking about it, the sun is coming back up and it's getting very light inside. So I will just stop the video for a moment to readjust that. Okay, I will continue. So yeah, so it's getting brighter and brighter, and the more love and the more light we bring in, the less we are prone to fear. And what else came to my mind is when we sing, we can't be scared. So maybe this is also an invitation to sing more and to use your voice to cast out fear. Yeah, so the other energies, I can see that you have been pushing a lot, maybe yourself, maybe situations that you had a hard time with accepting, and that you have been trying and trying and trying. There's one thing that I read in a book from Martha Beck. It's called The Way of Integrity. And it says, if something doesn't work, don't try harder. Because we tend to, in our society, we think, okay, this isn't working, but it has to. I have just to do it harder. I have to try harder. I have to do harder. But this isn't working. I mean, if you realize that, then just step back. So this Buttercup card is an invitation to step back and to reevaluate the situation and maybe try something new. I will cut out the maybe, try something new. So the story behind the Buttercup is, I think there has been some, moment. So there was a prince and he fell in love with a nymph, and he went to see her day and night and serenaded to her. So it's interesting. And he hoped that if he was really showing her that he's serious about that, that they will eventually end up being married and being together. And this is one ending to the story, but there's another end that says that the nymph became so frustrated with the prince because probably she had already told him that she was not so interested in him and that she was starting to get annoyed by his serenades. And because he did not respect her boundaries, that she in the end turned him into a buttercup. And then probably she was like, okay, now it's nice because now I can enjoy the silence and I can also enjoy the beauty of this buttercup. So I guess the story about that is, sometimes it's good to step back and reevaluate our actions, and also rethinking our own boundaries and also the boundaries of others. I can definitely also see that something is holding you back, and maybe this also goes together with this Buttercup card. So there is something that is holding you back. It might be from another life, something karmic maybe. This comes with this card to my mind. But it can also be something that you have not yet forgiven yourself or someone else to. And if you are not sure what this is, you can also always ask for guidance and always ask for forgiveness. So you can just say, I am ready to forgive. Please guide me how to do so. You could do a meditation like a Ho'oponopono meditation. You can find those on YouTube as well. Or you can just recite the I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. This kind like an affirmation, and meditate on that and maybe see what's coming up for you. So maybe go deeper into yourself to find out more about that. And yeah, because when you can forgive, then I think forgiveness is always the key for change, for growth, for more love, for love to have more space in our lives. Yeah. Okay. Then yeah. So this Ivy card says basically a little bit in this direction of feeling unstable and being unsure. I think these are also coming together. So like there's something holding you back and you don't know what it is. You're not sure about it, and it feels like you're not sure whether you are still on the right path. I can assure you, you are. This is just something about what is in general going on with your life, even if it might feel frustrating for you. I can also see this in this card, or also in that one, but I will talk about them in a minute. So even though it feels like you are wobbly or you're not sure of your path and you are not sure whether this is the direction that you are headed to is the right one or if you should change something, know that you always have the hope and the peace card, and you chose the nectar. And if the nectar is something that you want to bring into your life, know that it's already available for you. So no worries about that. Just step back and tune into yourself, tune into your intuition. I think that was it's a very good thing to do this kind of forgiveness meditation, and see what just arises for you, see what is coming up for you. Who is it that you need to forgive? Or maybe it can also be that there is someone that you want, that you feel like they did something to you and you want them to come to you and say sorry, so in order that you can forgive them. But I will just say that most of the time it's not working like that. So if someone hurt you, it is not up to them to make it good for you. I mean, it can feel nice if someone says sorry, but in that way you are giving away your power. So, but if you are like, okay, you hurt me, but I forgive you anyway, you are coming back to your own strength, you are coming back to your own power, which is a very amazing thing to do. So then we have these two tarot cards. For that one, I was asking what wants to grow or emerge. And what I see here is a person. They probably have been in a fight, these two here, and this person lost. I don't know if you can see it. I can just bring it up a little bit more. So this person lost, and I think this person is some kind of mediator. He was maybe watching over the fight, and now he sees that this person is very frustrated, and this person looks like, haha, that I did it like very, I think in a very unpleasant way, happy with themselves, like I knew that this would happen. And I was in the beginning, I felt like, oh, but this is weird because this is something that wants to grow or emerge. I think you might sometimes feel that if you achieve something, you don't deserve it. Because you feel like, oh, that was not right, the other person was like this or like that. But I think it's an invitation to really own your achievements and to say like, okay, I'm proud of what I've achieved. I've been working hard for this, and I've been dedicating my time for this, and this is something that I deserve. And don't feel like you don't, if you win a fight or if you win something or you are better than someone or whatever the situation is, you can always go to that person and be like, okay, so, you can always have this kind of communication. And this is interesting because this is the Gemini energy coming back in. Yeah, so this is the Gemini energy coming in. That asks you to also feel into the ways that you are communicating yourself with others. So there is always like, you can be like, oh, but I won and I'm so good, nana. Or you can go to that person and be be understanding and be nice, I guess. So yeah, definitely communication. And then this one is something that wants to grow or that wants to be released or integrated. And this is something I think it needs to be released. It's this energy of I can do things on my own. I don't need someone else. I can try it. I just have to try harder. Here's that one again with the trying harder things. Because that person probably thinks like, okay, maybe the ones already have fallen like 2 or 3 times, and the person just thinks like, okay, but I just have to try harder. I just have to be more determined. But I think there is no way that he can carry all these ones alone with his arms only in one setting. He has to split it up or ask someone for help. And I think this is just something nice, because if we ask for help, if we communicate ourselves with others, there's also sweetness in that. Because admitting to ourselves, I need help, can feel very, very nice. So maybe if there is something that you are struggling with at the moment, or maybe it's when it comes to this forgiveness card, and you just close your eyes and take a few deep breaths, and you just say to yourself, I don't know how I can do this. I need help. And then you feel into your body, and maybe there is some kind of relief. At least I remember I had a situation where I was really trying hard and harder and harder. And then I read in a book this admitting to ourselves that we need help, that this would already feel like a relief. And so I did that. I was just thinking about that situation that I was in. And I just said to myself, I need help. And then I was just like, oh yeah, right, I can get help. And that felt so good. I felt so much relief, because I knew, okay, I don't have to walk through this life alone, and I don't have to do things on my own. I can always ask for help. Yeah, so maybe try this and see also if this might help you to release some fear or some tension. So yeah, I think your reading is coming to an end. What I want to put the emphasis on is, before I finish, is like, yeah, look into, like, even though you feel some kind of heavy energy here, just tune into this feeling of peace and hope and sweetness of life, and just think about the moon, and just think about your own inner light that you can shine out into the world, and that will light up your path. Yeah, so I guess that's it, dear pile number 3. It has been very pleasant to do this reading for you. I'm very happy for you that you have hope, peace, and sweetness available for you. And yeah, I hope this reading helps you to set your intentions for the new moon cycle, maybe also to look back into the past moon cycle, and also to look into the energies of the past couple of weeks, especially the full moon and the eclipse. And yeah, so I'm wishing you all the best, and I'm wishing you all the sweetness of life, and sending you so much love and light. Bye bye. Welcome, pile number 4, to your reading. If you have picked the clear quartz crystal or the village card, then this is your reading. Yeah, and something that I wanted to share with you before I start the reading is very interesting, because I had to swap the places because of the sun that is just shining so intensely into the room right now. And so I am now sitting on the other side of the camera, which I usually don't do. So this is something new. And I think this might also be interesting and relevant for your reading, because you have picked the village. And the village is a place where we might grow up and where the world may feel safe and in a way contained, because we know everyone and there is these borders around the village. And yeah, it's a place where everybody knows their place and where everything is just as it always has been. But it's very interesting also when it comes together with the card of the zebra. It is, in this reading, definitely an invitation for you to tune into your own village. So what is that village for you? Where have you been in a place, or it could be a community, it could be whatever situation it is, but it's a situation where you have been in some sort of a village, where you have been maybe where it's not necessarily like a cage, but it's definitely a place where there are boundaries that are very strict and that you are not really invited to it's a place that you are not really invited to leave. Might be some persons that encourage you to leave, but still there might linger some fear to it. And most of the people don't leave it, but there's definitely the invitation for you to leave it and to go out and see the world. And there's nothing to fear about that. I mean, it can be scary to leave places, to leave communities where we used to live in, and that gave us some kind of security in one phase of our life, and then to choose something else, not knowing what is going to happen, that can be very scary. So this is like pushing ourselves out of the comfort zone and not knowing what's going to happen. But then remember the Fool of the tarot, that is just so light and so playful, and just not knowing that that they just walk through life and see, okay, whatever is happening is the right thing that is meant to happen. So it can be scary to leave that place where we felt safe at one point, but if we feel that it's the moment that has come to leave, and we take that step, definitely it's scary, but this is always good to do so, because then it will give us so much strength. And as I already said, there is no need to be scared, because you have the zebra energy as well in your reading. And here I want to read that to you because it's so nice. Being in the company of a zebra personality not only is a delight, but also opens your mind. Be prepared, their potent magic is contagious, and you may soon find yourself in the faraway land, expanding your worldview while having a blast. So, this means leaving the village is not only going to give you growth, but it's also going to be super fun. And it's going to be a most amazing time, and you will enjoy it so much. It will be so colorful, it will be so life-changing. Yeah? And probably also healing, because I just came into that. Oh, I have to put the crystal down. I'm still holding it in my hand. You also have this the card Heal, and I guess sometimes leaving places and leaving situations behind can be interpreted as running away, but it can also be like very healing to just put some space into situations, between situations, I want to say, between people. And so I think it's definitely a journey that will also lead to healing in some sort of way. You have also the Seed, which is the first card. It has the 0 on it of the Seed and Sickle Oracle deck. Well, the sun is away, so I will have to fix that. Okay, So the seed, it's like, I think it's like this energy that we were talking about earlier with the Fool, like a new beginning. But the seed also brings something else with it. So if you plant seeds in spring outside, you always have to like see how the temperature is, if there's going to be, it's going to be very cold and your seedling won't grow. So it's also an invitation to plant the seeds and then not necessarily already put yourself out so much. So it's not like, oh, I planted this and that, and then people might expect you the next day to already harvest tomatoes. Maybe it's more like having that dream, having that idea, and just keeping it a little bit for yourself or for your inner circle. I guess, yeah, inner circle is good, to let it grow. And then when you know, okay, it has grown enough and it's like stable, it's very, it's grounded, it feels good to share it, then you can go out and share it. And it's totally fine to not tell everyone what you're up to. It's definitely good to just keep some things for yourself, keep some things for your inner circle, for your best friends, your best family, whatever it is, whoever it is, and to take your own time. Yeah. Then, the dandelion card. The dandelion card has some kind of hangman energy to it. So this is some kind of change of perspective. So it might be some events might feel like they are turning your world upside down. And it can just be like right now that I'm telling you to leave your village and go out and explore and have a blast. Can already feel like uprooting your whole life and turning it upside down. But sometimes it's good to do so, because then we can have another look at the situation. So if you imagine that you're leaving the village because you need something, you need to see something new, you need to make your own experiences, because you already have experienced everything that the village has to offer you at that very moment. And then someday you come back and then you might see things differently. You might find another perspective to it, and then you might be able to see things or see situations from a different point of view, which can be very enriching. And I think your reading is a lot about making choices. This comes to my mind because of that card. I recognize that I've chosen fear and I choose again, I choose love. I think it's not necessarily, it might resonate with you, the message of this card. Maybe there was a moment where you have chosen fear, maybe you were so afraid to leave your village, whatever it is, that kept you from doing so, from making that decision, from deciding to leave, and because of that you just stayed. But this was a decision coming from fear and not coming from love. And if we choose love, then the outcome might be different. And this choosing is also what came to me because of the Lovers card. I took these two cards. This one is like representing something that wants to grow or emerge during the new moon cycle. And this one is something that might be integrated or released. And the Lovers card is always a card that represents choice. So I think you can integrate into your life, into your reality, into your being, the knowing that you always have a choice. You don't have to, and you don't have to stick with it. So if you choose something and then sometimes later when something's changed, you realize, oh, that was a good choice in that moment, but right now it does not feel very good, then you always are allowed to change your mind and to choose something else. It's like with this card, like once you have chosen fear, doesn't mean that for the rest of your life you have to choose fear again and again. You can always come back to love. And I can see in this what wants to grow or emerge next to the zebra card, which is, as I already read it to you, some energy that is very adventurous, let us say like that. And then here you also have this kind of energy, like turning the wheel of fortune, doing something light, something funny, where you don't know what the outcome is. So I guess it's maybe this kind of not knowing, like a 100%, that you are invited to choose right now. But you can still be sure that that the outcome will be something good. I mean, it always is, if we act from our hearts and if we choose love. And even if it's not, we can learn something. So it's always like, I'm not very into like positive, bad, or negative adjectives. I always think that things are good for something, even though in the first moment they might not feel very comfortable. But what I want to say here is, with that action that you are at the point of choosing, of leaving, there is so much adventure in it. And even if it doesn't feel very clear at the moment for you, know that there will be clarity, because you have also picked that stone, which is the stone for intuition, for clarity, for, I think it's like the master stone, it's for everything. And also remember, when I was describing it, there's like these feathers inside, so it's also very light. So it's an invitation to be just like the dandelion seed that is like blown away with the wind, that is super light. And remember, like when you pick up that little ball of seeds from the dandelion and then you blow on it and they flow in every direction of the wind. So this is also this kind of expansion of like this invitation, go out, see the world. But don't do it in like a heavy way, or in a, I don't know, in some way where you think you have to achieve something, but more in a playful way. I think this is also this kind of Gemini energy that is so curious and that is flexible, that is enthusiastic, and that is also like this foolish energy, because the fool is someone, he is at the beginning of a new cycle, and he just admits like, I don't know anything, but that's just all right, because I'm here to learn. I'm here to get more knowledge, to learn. And I think that's it as well. Like if you go out into a new village or into a new country or whatever it is, maybe it's also a new job or something like that, or a new relationship maybe as well. And even if it's the relationship with yourself that you are working on and that you are like seeing from another perspective, it's I lost what I wanted to say. I got so excited about this idea of starting or like being the fool and being so adventurous and being so bold and courageous, I guess, and so light. Because just imagine going on an adventure without caring so much, with like you choose love, and I mean you have that also in the Lovers card, like in a loving way, in a light way, in a fun way, and not thinking so much about, oh, what does this bring me, or what will others think, or oh, I have to see this and that, but more really in this playful way, in this Gemini way. Yeah, this is what I see for you here, dear pile number 4. Spirit invites you to be light like a feather. Don't worry if your world is turned upside down because of something that you choose. Remember that you are always in the place you choose, and you can always go back or choose something different. And know that healing is always on your path. It's always happening. Yeah. So I wish you a very, very blessed, joyful, adventurous, enthusiastic moon cycle. And yeah, let me know if it resonates in the comments, and maybe also come back later to it and talk a little bit about your adventures that you had. And yeah, see you in one of the next readings, and sending you so much love and light. Bye-bye!